Sorry about that. Unfortunately, as you can see, we had just started building with our coppers, so we have enough to make a shovel and a golem. And we're going to go mine some more here in just a moment. But first, let's see if this works out from our old friend Goku. Who? Maybe it's supposed to be a different kind of copper. Let's try different coppers. That isn't one of the coppers I need. Let's find different coppers. Fuck, I hate that I did this to me. Alright, let's slide out here. Quickly check our surroundings, make sure we don't get attacked. And take this one. Yeah, try this one. Unless it's supposed to be a build, I'm assuming this golem will work like other golems where it's, you know. Nope. Oh well. You know what this means though? If I can't make a golem yet, so be it. Let's make a pit. Check it out compared to the others. But also, let's see if there's... Okay, there's no actual just copper golem build. So again, I'm guessing it's going to be we just got to figure out how to assemble him. But we'll figure that out first. And more fun. Ooh, copper nuggets. Copper nuggets might mean we make something else. Let's toss something in the chest and get to it. Because copper nuggets make me think we might have copper lanterns. That'd be pretty badass. Also, I don't think I have copper. No, it's not copper I can break down into ingots. Do I? Doesn't have a piercing. It sadly does not seem so. Oh well. For now, let's do one of these. Now let's make a bit of space, eh? Oh, that was neat. Okay. Now, let's make some copper tools, shall we? Let's see if we can make one. Two. I'll make some ingots and see what the ingots give us to make. Ingots don't do that I can see yet. Oh well. I'm gonna stick it in the copper chest and see what comes of it later. Ingots might turn out to be a neat tool. For now, let's go give this shovel a try right quick. And while we do that, let's also... Ooh, it looks stylish. Looks like shiny leather. When Carlos switches out Gabrielle's birth control with something else so she could unwittingly have unprotected... It's not bad on the armor. I'm sure it's just not going to last as long. Either way. It's not what I meant to do. Take this back. Hello, Shifu. You on up on the couch before I go out and venture into the world? Alright, give me just a second, y'all. Gotta get Shifu on the couch. Oba-doba. Goober. If you want on the couch, come here then. Oh, he does. Oh, there we go. He didn't do the jumping bean thing. He was a lazy dumpling, not a jumping bean. You're okay wherever you want to go, Bubba. I'm just using the couch as a footrest at the moment. Oh, boo, did the sun already go down? Shite. I want to play. Oh, well. Let's go see if we can find some more copper then. It's okay. Let's also see if we can find our way or make our way to the beach. Let's see. That's the direction of the beach I want to say, so down a little bit. I need more fence. What Julie wants, because she wants to be a grandmother. So she slanders Julie to the potential adopted parents. Alright, now we're going in the right direction. Now, if I recall correctly, front door is that way, so the beach should be this way. So let's go down, down. Looks like I found some old copper. Nursery in the home for the baby because she plans to be a grandmother to the child that Julie told her she don't want. So Julie was literally forced into motherhood by the bitch that didn't mother her. Let's get us some more copper. And then we'll see how a full set of copper armor and tools goes. Honestly, I'm just glad I never got on the Desperate Housewives train. Not judging anyone who enjoyed it. TV in the 90s and early aughts was weird. But oh good, we can try out the shovel. But just, yeah. So I will say the Desperate Housewives was a show my grandfather really loved. No, I take that back. That wasn't Desperate Housewives. He was into The Real Housewives. Not bad. Different, totally different show, I'm sure. I've always preferred reading and like video games to television most of the time. Except for anime and, well, I guess some TV. While it might have aged poorly, I still really like How I Met Your Mother. I just now watch it and sometimes go, ooh, that's not good. But that's how it should be, you know? We learn from our past lessons. We don't just take them up. For example, Roadhouse. A fun movie with many now long past stars it was a good movie. I think they did a new one with Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't know how that one went. But the old one had its problems. For one, I don't want to get the fellow's name wrong. He's a very famous, very good actor from what I hear. But he was the main character of The Roadhouse. And he did just that. He was getting paid $400 more or less a day for 80s, 90s money. Actually, long before 80s and 90s, if we're going with the original storyline, like 70s money. So he was well off. But he was just a martial artist, he was a philosopher and a fighter. And that seemed to be the thing that was all the rage at the time. Still kind of is, and there's a reason for that. It goes back to the Japanese and various other cultures where warriors weren't just big, meathead strong. Dumb, but strong. Like the American military and Marines, gently chiding there, not really calling nobody out. But the American military and the Marines were really the first time we called our own, oh, they're good but dumb. They're deadly but slow. because most of the time when it comes to like samurais, ancient knights, various cultures, it wasn't just that you were good with a weapon, you had to also be artistic in some way. A shogun would just as easily command a battlefield as make a flower arrangement. It's why I don't understand the Alpha Dude Bros trying to call forth, like, imagery of, oh, men in Camelot, and oh, these big men. It's like, yeah, but those big men were also very big gay for each other. I mean, it wasn't really looked at the same way back then. You didn't marry a man, but yeah, you could. It's the reason in history books there are so many good friends and buddies, and oh, they were like brothers and they wept it. Y'all, Anakin and Obi-Wan sort of shit, you know? They're not gay. Okay, I feel ya. I'm not saying it is a negative thing. I'm just saying those two dudes definitely knew each other intimately. But the history books try to report, oh no, they were just friends. They were college roommates. And to that I'll say there's a really good song called History Hates Lovers. Check out the song, it's a cute one. But it basically goes into these various couples over through history that were clearly LGBTQ of some kind. But it's the same thing as, oh no, autism didn't exist until the 70s. Just ignore the fact that up until that point, everyone had one relative who, you know, was super into trains, or that had a room of the house that you just did not fucking go in, because that's where they did their hobby, and if any little thing was out of place, they would go the fuck apeshit. No, that wasn't autism, that was just them being different. No, that was autism. It's always been here. It's not a bad thing. It's not a disease you can fight. It's just, it'd be like trying to fight the blind, trying to fight, oh, hell, look at the country I'm telling you. This is the country that, hey, all those people are doing heavy drugs, and it's bad for them and their families, and everybody's sad. I feel you. War on the people doing the drugs. No, we want them to get help, not war. That seems to be like the one word America knows, like a small child that learned a first word. Whee! Eventually I'm gonna make a roller coaster in this motherfucker. Honestly, me and my buddies, back when I had like roommates and such that were in Illinois, not Illinois, this was in Earl C. in Job Corps, but we would have fun little versus matches. Basically, you spend 100 days building a base, then we go after each other. When you get killed, you sit out the rest of the game. You can still observe and stuff, but everybody just goes to town on each other, Battle Royale style. It was fun, and can you tell what my strategy was? Because we'd also typically turn off the thingies. So my strategy is just run into the deep mines and make double backs, loops, things like this to where, yeah, come into my arena. It didn't always work, but hell, the old game didn't give you as many fun options as we got now. Hell, we had to make our traps. There wasn't a mechanic for it, really. No trip cords. You made trip cords with a pressure plate. And God's help you if you fucked up midway through setting up a trap. Sure. I just love Ole's accent. I really do. I could listen to this woman read a dictionary to me. I can put up with her religious fervor at times just because I love the way she says it. I might not believe in her Jesus, but damn do I love the way she says his name. That sounds a lot more sexual than I meant for it to. Either way, I really like her as a creator. She talks about good shit the deepest way she can, and I appreciate her passion. I really think y'all should go check out Ole's channel if you get the chance. I didn't even realize she had a new one, but this is the Illuminati Pop. Illuminati Pop's the one I didn't know was a thing, and I'm guessing she just covers the more fun poppy things. Let's see if the sun has risen outside yet. Damn it. Whoa. Now I see why I didn't watch Desperate Housewives. Holy fuck, what the fuck was... Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer with a script, I say. Horny jail with you all. Kidding. Nah, y'all, it's just, it's like studying zoology. We have to... If we're gonna address the problems we face as a society, we have to see where these problems came from. I mean... Yo, real talk, you wanna know the reason that males are toxic now? Because we had years of dudes that were the hero of the story teaching us this is how men are. This is how men should be. And then when that method didn't hold up because nobody really wants that, not even the men, people are left confused, they're left wandering. I mean, how many people watched Fight Club, or in my case read Fight Club and then watched it, but how many people watched that movie and missed the entire point? Here's a tip, if they actually do Project Mayhem as an IRL thing, they missed the entire point of Fight Club. But like I said, I'm not a media scholar, which is a thing and it is a respectable career. You want to know why it's a respectable career? Because I'm not one of them. It is something to be looked at if you want to look into it, because it goes into studying like what the trends of the time were, what caused that film to be the way it was, good or bad. I'm just saying, don't let the current administration dampen your spirit towards education and furthering your education. Right now, for some reason, they're pushing everyone to go to trade school. And I'm not knocking it if you've gone to trade school or are attending trade school now. I'm just gonna say, much like in my generation, it was, son, work with your head, not your back. Son, go to college, get you a good career, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And that stuff never panned out because you flooded the market with doctors and nurses. And in the capitalist market, they don't care that you have the best trained doctors. They want the ones that'll go for the cheap. Because they don't care about people, they care about profits. So that's why you get, I mean, we've got fucking doctors making burgers and fries. We've got people that could educate that are currently not worrying about what next semester is going to hold for their kids because they're busy making sure they can survive financially till next semester. Like I said, it's... We're gonna try to keep it light today if we can help it, because it has been a pretty dark week, like, for the country. I will say that all the things that I was hoping to not happen didn't happen, at least. Like, I genuinely thought when old Drunky McPete stepped out on stage, it was gonna be a now we are to declare war with Venezuela, da 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 da, they insulted our great empire and the emperor. And instead it's just, you know, you're all fat. You're all fat, and I hate looking at you. Why are you so fat, U.S. military? I'm like, dude, it's the generals, and yeah, that's because they don't PT like their soldiers do. Why are y'all fat? Because they don't have to do the things soldiers do anymore. They're generals. That they command, not run. Also, rude. Rude from the drunk. I mean, why would we expect anything more from old Drinky Pete, but still. And look, y'all, if you struggle with alcoholism like many people that I know do, friends, creators, former lovers, people that I care about even now, yeah, it's not a joking matter. Get help if you need help with alcoholism. Because the head of the U.S. Department of War, stupid name, but the head of the U.S. Department of War is currently not going to get help with his alcoholism. So we've got an alcoholic leading the military. I mean, y'all did want the roaring 1820s back, right? I mean, all you Trumpies, you wanted the 1800s back, right? Cowboy days, woo! Are we having fun yet? I hope someone is. Because I'm having fun on Minecraft. I'm not having fun in Lifecraft right now, though. I'm over here studying what plants are poisonous, what plants are good for feeding other animals, and trying to keep the balance as best I can. But on the bright side, we're also getting to make lots more of the fun little art projects, and I hope y'all are enjoying those shorts. I promise as I learn how to actually edit, those shorts will get better. But I've still got to, I've got a lot to learn, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I'm dirting that up because if not, I know some frickin' tiny zombie or something will come running in. The scourge of my existence. Okay. Before we even dive into the deep end of Desperate Housewives' extreme ableism, let me first make sure you'll understand that in true conservative fashion, Desperate Housewives does not believe in mental health altogether. Like, period. This should be obvious out the gate, seeing as the show literally begins with one of the women committing suicide and being called selfish both by her friends and widowers. But if it wasn't obvious, it should be crystal clear by the time Lynette's wild-ass twins who obviously have ADHD get diagnosed with ADHD, and she treats their diagnosis as an evil lie meant to trick her into giving her kids medicine that would destroy them and their wonderful personalities. So she refused to give these the Adderall their wild asses were prescribed, only to instead start taking it herself to keep up with her 3 children and the million things on her plate that her husband isn't helping her with. And instead of addressing the real problem, that Lynette is exhausted and she was being pressured into motherhood by a husband who wasn't pulling his weight, the show instead decides to treat it like Adderall turned her into a crackhead. And the message the audience is left with is Adderall is bad and ADHD is fake. This Also, I don't suppose I have to tell anyone watching this, but Tylenol, or acetaminophen, is not going to give you autism, nor give your children autism. It is a very simple over-the-counter pain reliever. The way it works is it opens up your vessels and veins in your head where you have the headache, or it provides stimulant blood flow in the area you have an injury. That's how acetaminophen works. Now, don't go going apeshit for it and taking it like crazy, because it will hurt your liver. It will. Just, sorry y'all, nothing is perfect. Acetaminophen is not good for your liver. But, I mean, y'all, take the Tylenol if you need Tylenol. Also, let's all point and laugh at our big best president with his big best words, who couldn't, you know, say acetaminophen. That lets you know that he's not a working man, because I'm sorry, but first thing you learn on a job site is, well, you got anything for the pain, man? I hit my thumb, or my back's out today, or whatever, and it's, well, I ain't got nothing on me, but here, go check out the med kit. And in the med kit, you don't have Tylenol. Well, you might have Tylenol if you have a fancy med kit. Every med kit I've ever seen at work, we don't have no Tylenol. We don't have no nothing like that. We have acetaminophen, which is basically Tylenol. It's just non-name brand. It's the actual chemical that the Tylenol has in it with its tiny bit of chalk and or sugar. Don't quote me on that. I don't work for Tylenol. I don't know what they have in it. I just know that acetaminophen is the primary ingredient plus some herbs and spices. Hey, what up, Wyatt? How you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Oh. Also, never take health advice from people who are obviously not healthy. I'm sorry, but listening to RFK speak, watch Trump try to keep topics, don't take health advice from people who aren't doing well healthy-wise. I'm waiting for this administration to come out with the brand of cigarettes you should be smoking. I mean, doctors used to give brand name deals. Marlboro was for masculine men. Originally it was, what was it? Benson and Hedges was meant for men and Marlboro was meant for women. But dudes liked the cowboy better and women liked the lady, so it swapped. That's a fun little thing about cigarette trivia I guess you won't hear in school. Honestly, the copper armor's looking pretty good. I like the copper armor set. It basically looks like shiny leather. I dig that. And the shovel's held out pretty well, so let's go do a bit of digging and see what we can find. And we'll go ahead and put away the armor we currently have. And just because I don't like leaving them out of order. We'll need to make some copper golems here soon. Let's see if there's a way. But before we do that, I'm happy to hear you doing good, friend. Let's go checking that down below some more. Hello, Mintry. How are you doing today? Alright, copper mod, or copper mod. Yes, it does. The hair dye has... Let's try that one again. The hair dye has finally dried and been washed out, so I'm back. Let's see if we can hit where that sandy desert and or beach was. I'll give the copper tool this, it goes faster than the stone. Ah, alrighty, I'll try to keep that in my notes there, Vortex. Would you prefer Minty or Vortex? Alrighty, Wyatt, we can do that if you want, bud, but like I said, I mostly just build stuff on here. But I'll probably be eventually getting down to where diamonds are at. Right now I'm just trying to get the dome for the roof, that way I can get some sunlight in here. Well, I'm happy you let me know, and it is good to have you now, Minty. But yeah, it's been going pretty good. Sorry I've been away so long, y'all. I've been getting a lot of art supplies, and, well, David got a car, so I had to run with him to do errands and such. I say as if I wasn't enjoying the time out and about. And I hope that y'all been enjoying the short form content to make up for not being able to do as many game videos. Eventually, once I get better weather, I'll start taking the bike into town more, but something about the bike in the rain don't sound like a fun time to me. Eventually, I'm going to do some riding videos, though, where I can just record as I ride. I'm just wanting to secure the phone so I don't end up, you know, losing a phone. Yeah, the tunnel mining doesn't really go that fast, it seems. But honestly, I'll give it this. The copper does go a lot faster than stone. And it is pretty well enduring.
See, I always knew that I had to take care of Rebecca, so I could never let myself slip and do something that would hurt her.
Plus, it's nice to have a new middle element between iron and, like, stone. Alright. That's not bad. That's not too bad at all. That was just one pick, too. Let us finish building up the top floor a bit. Now with the sun out, we might be able to get some outdoor building done, too. Okay, I still have fence in there.
When we meet Nick and Angie Bolin and their son Danny Bolin, we immediately know that Nick Bolin is a piece of shit. Because the man is really
nice.
on his wife with Susan's 20-something-year-old daughter Julie, who his teenage son Danny has a crush on. Yeah, when Danny learns of his dad's cheating-ass ways and informs his mother, we come to learn that Angie basically feels like she has to accept this bullshit from this bullshit-ass because of what he did for her. Y'all want to know what he did for her? What he did for her? We find out that they're on the run because when Angie was in college, she
see how the bronze or the copper sword work out too. Ooh, here we go.
It was her idea to join a group of eco-terrorists. She let herself fall in love with their charismatic leader, and she agreed to build him a bomb.
The season ended with Angie blowing up her ex and Nick suddenly being portrayed as this hero who would die for his family. Like he didn't spend the season
I hear you. Where you at?
very young women and verbally berating his play son. Like, let me get this straight. Angie and her ex were these evil eco-terrorists, but Nick is the hero. The FBI agent who fuck these big bad eco-terrorists. But instead of doing his job and arresting either one of them, he decided it was so much more important to stay with Aaron and Dava. He said his job and stop and pop this evil eco-terrorism so he could go on the run with this young woman that he's now convinced has to be on the run for the rest of her life with the FBI or
Okay, copper is pretty good on the tool set.
you know the FBI ain't thought about them in 20 years. This Patrick ass is the main villain they looking for, and he ain't spent a day on the run. In fact, he be casually walking around there all stomping around, telling people to keep an eye out for Angie and let him know if they see her, with no trouble from the FBI. So the FBI damn sure is not the reason Angie needs to live a life on the run like this. So the only other threat is Patrick. Nick could have arrested 20 years prior, but he chose pussy. And again, I remind you, cheating, also cheating and treating us done like shit. But he's somehow the hero of this wacky former FBI agent and the villains of his to earth.
There it is. Oh shit, it's a villager. That's not good.
When Julie gets attacked, Susan, overzealous ass, accused 16-year-old
Perhaps
boy
there's
of
a village in that direction.
without a shred of evidence beyond her hysterical words. Let me tell you something. I am going to make a Susan hate video another time, but I would just like to say Susan should have been shot for how she carried on with that role. Y'all hear me? Despite Susan being married to an who regularly gets accused of and arrested for crimes he didn't commit, Susan has no problem galvanizing the neighborhood to not only bully and harass a teenage boy just because she heard he liked her daughter and had an argument with her, and then subsequently tried to lower his car and talk to him and crush him. Then she had the nerve to act like his mother was crazy when she came up to protect her child. Let me tell y'all something. I like beat Susan like she stole some. You know what I mean? Anyway, the point is, the neighborhood loves.
And hopefully here soon we'll be able to get a camera going for the stream. I purchased one, but it currently is not detecting on the PlayStation. Womp womp. I wasn't really doing it for the vain reasons. I just think y'all would enjoy watching Shifu sleeping on the couch. Because he'd just be chilling on one side of the couch, half watching the TV and then taking a nap.
And where does she live? The asylum. The insane asylum. In season 6, Catherine has lost her actual.
Like I said, I got plans for the channel, y'all. I just also got a lot of things to move around to make those plans more than just dreaming.
That my behavior has been crazy. Clinical stuff.
And what's the price for her friends? Mike, Susan, and anyone else trying to have grace with their friends who's going through a mental health episode? She starts breaking into Susan and them house, looking through the window and saying before ultimately stabbing herself and trying to frame Mike for murder. Because what is yet again the
I
message?
think I'll make another copper shovel.
Don't help you break. But let me tell y'all something. Nothing is touching the ableism in season 2 storyline. Because it wasn't enough to be ableist at all. It was also racist. Let me tell y'all. If you or your loved ones were full season 2 of Desperate Housewives, you may be entitled to compensation for your pain and suffering. I really don't know where to begin. Because never before in my black ass life have I been watching a show and the introduction of iconic ass Alfre Woodard wasn't a good thing. But boy, was it not a good thing. This storyline is another perfect example of why I never bully white people's white ass shows to incorporate black people. Because whenever they do, it's a nightmare from hell. But this particular storyline was the Freddy Krueger of all nightmares. You hear me? Tell me why. Tell me why. They have Alfre Woodard playing this woman named Betty Applewhite, who has 2 sons. One named Matthew, who was played by fine ass
Ooh.
who they somehow expected to pass as a teenager. Please be so for real. And the other son, Caleb,
I'll make
is
a couple of
really
these.
the most racist, ableist, triggering shit I ever did see. My God. They don't ever
Make
actually
a
say
few
what
more
Caleb's specific
sticks.
issue is. They just call him slow. Because again, ableism. But what I believe from watching it is that Caleb is perhaps autistic. Both of my twin baby
I'm gonna make a couple copper bars. Let's make one set of copper bars and see how that pans out.
Because Caleb is neurodivergent in some way, he's quite literally treated like cattle, a dirty secret, a burden ruining their lives, and a ticking time bomb to be put down. Looking after your brother is a full-time job. Although, you know this. Who here? Matthew! Oh, I'm serious, Mom. If we have both put our entire lives on hold, and for what? Been almost a year, and he hasn't gotten any better. I see him as perfect. That's because you see what you wanted. Promise put him away, Mom. Especially with his therapy. What you should understand about this storyline up front is that its purpose is for you to walk away thinking black men are dangerous. But even the nice ones, the good ones, the disabled ones, whatever, they're all groups that you have the right to side-eye moving into your neighborhood or dating your daughters. This shit was so racist and up that I had to fast forward several times. That's what Housewives does this thing where every season they introduce some new neighbor with a mystery like we give a and then they spend all season dragging out telling us what it is like we give a but I don't have time for all of that. So let me tell y'all what it is. Matthew had a girlfriend who he broke up with. But the girlfriend kept trying to get back together with him, so she told him to meet her somewhere. But Caleb showed up instead and told him he liked her and wanted to date her. To which she laughed at him and insulted him, but he then kisses her without her consent, resulting in her slapping him and hitting him with a pole before a struggle ensues where she falls, leading Caleb to believe he killed her. So he goes home and tells his mother what happened and that he believes he killed her. So his mom's response is to chain him up in a basement, literally shackle him like a slave, stop speaking to him, flag him food like a prisoner in order to punish him.
Why does he do that?
He knows it's me. He's just trying to get to us.
Yeah, well, it's what.
Knock it off, you hear what I'm saying? Matthew. Matthew, sit down. You know we don't talk to him. That's part of his punishment.
What in the hell was this Desperate Housewives show? I'm hearing Ole cover it, and I'm just like, this show is something people watch, like a lot of people watch. This is shit that I heard Game of Thrones was breaking grounds with. Like, apparently one of the families had a kid that had, like, gotten hit in the head and been violent with a woman. And so instead of calling the police, like, doing stuff, they shackled the kid in their basement, and they don't speak to him because that's part of his punishment. The hell was this show? The hell was this show? That sounds like some Game of Thrones shit right there. I almost bought the DVD set of this show at the damn store, and I was like, oh wait, I don't know nothing about that one. It's like True Blood. If I can catch it in a pawn shop or something on sale, I'll get it and do a deep dive, but I don't really want to give them the money for it. Also, pro advice with the ramen noodles. I've been taking them forever, and I never put the full salt packet in because, like, bad for you. I always put about half the salt packet in, and then I save the other half. Which also gives the added bonus that down the road, I have, currently today, I had Korean spicy pineapple ramen with a slight chicken aftertaste. Would have been indigestion, but damn good flavor. But that's just my pro advice on the ramen. What do I got? So I got stairs. I do have stairs. Okay. Let's build some stairs.
Then when the brother Matthew starts dating Bree's daughter Danielle, he starts doing the same thing. Even when he meets Bree, they have him go, oh, you're pretty. They're pushing this idea that these groups want non-black women, that they want to violate your mothers and your daughters. Because like we discussed earlier, the message is always that we should not give these people grace or second chances. That he has proven he's a criminal who will offend again.
Crap. There we go.
Caleb? doing here?
Happy birthday.
You really have to go home. If my mom knew you were here, she'd freak.
Don't you want to wear it?
No, I don't. Now please leave.
I can help you with it.
No, did you hear me? You freak, leave! So they have him breaking into Danielle's room, trying to kiss her and shit, and she rejects him because she's dating Matthew, who, by the way, we lost her mind about Danielle dating.
Question. Is there a black man hiding under your bed? What's going on? I just thought you should know that I came home to find your son hiding underneath my daughter's bed. And it just seems to me that... Yes, hi. Right now.
Several things to know. Bree refers to teenage Matthew as a black man, not a boy like they call every other teenage boy in the show. Further, Danielle has been boys like her classmate John and grown like a history teacher. And we have not seen Bree pull a scene and bring them to anyone's front door like a criminal. But this is done for Matthew. They lawyer Matthew's hands behind his back like he's under citizen's arrest from this white woman for the crime of what? Sleeping with a white girl? Y'all see the imagery they're invoking? And why does she have this massive problem? No reason was given, because the issue is simply that he's a black guy, which Danielle says to Bree, and she never really objects, because that's the tea. Then, when Betty finds out that Caleb broke into Danielle's room, she decides to kill her son, because in her mind, living with his disability or having to live in a mental health treatment place is a fate worse than death. Because he has a disability, this woman literally sees him as her property, who she has the right to kill. That is quite literally the epitome of ableism. This idea that disabled people have nothing to live for.
Silver Crush, which actually seems okay.
Put this hand with me, Julia. I'm ready for dinner.
Mom, I know you don't want to talk about this, but we have to. Mrs. Vanderkamp is going to call the police.
Promise myself I would never institutionalize the road.
Mom.
How long do you think it'd be before you got shot? Have you even hurt somebody? A couple of days? Week? Then they throw him in a straitjacket and drug away what's left of his mind. Spend the rest of his life at the mercy of strangers.
But if we don't send him to a hospital, he's going to end up in prison. Don't you think that's worse?
Yes, of course I do.
So what the hell are we going to do?
It's easy. Painless. Just a few extra drops. He simply falls asleep. Caleb tonight will better world than this, Matthew. It's time to give your brother the peace he deserves.
Are you going to do this tonight?
No, the ice cream is for tomorrow. I'm taking care of the picnic from Rockwater Lake. And return all this first.
So when you're done, you're just going to leave him hiding there?
I'll call 911 anonymously, but I will be watching from a distance. Make sure that they pick up his body.
No, Mom, you don't have to do this.
I won't let him hurt another girl. And I will turn him over to people who will mock at this and just watch.
Then, the big reveal we get is that Caleb didn't kill Matthew's ex-girlfriend, and that it was actually Matthew who did it. It turns out that although Caleb hit her and she fell, she got up. And Matthew eventually showed up to meet her to tell her once again that it was over. When he wouldn't agree to get back together, the ex-girlfriend started talking shit and threatening to get his freak brother arrested for assaulting her, at which point he panicked,
Anyway,
snapped,
let's
and
try to
stepped
get
off the
some
car. I also
copper
want to
footage.
point out a trend in Desperate Housewives, that whenever a woman is a victim of domestic violence, either she's portrayed as a bitch who deserved it, or it's downplayed in some other way. Here, we see it in how Matthew's girlfriend is portrayed as a bitch who provoked both Caleb and Matthew and was in some way less deserving of sympathy. But we also see it when Susan's mother tells her that she broke up with her longtime boyfriend because he hit her. And not only did Susan's bitch ass tell her mother she didn't believe her, when the man himself told Susan he hit her, Susan still chastised her mother for how ridiculous it was to leave a man because he hit her once. Once it's revealed that Matthew killed his ex-girlfriend, just like with Caleb, the show could not risk us thinking these were one-off incidents. We need to see these young black men as predators with deep-seated insidious issues who will hurt someone again. So Matthew, who's been chilling all season, suddenly starts flying into low rages, and the next
Sorry I ain't as full of it as I normally am, y'all. It's just been a long time since I've been on here and had time to just chill and build. And I'm kind of just enjoying that. I've also recently gotten back into Yu Yu Hakusho, which is incredibly hilarious hearing David try to pronounce. But he does his best and his heart's in the right place. I just enjoy that he tries to enjoy my hobbies with me. And it's a great show, y'all. Parts of it didn't age well, but honestly, it's a good show. And the parts that didn't age well are very few and far between. Though admittedly, I don't think you should try to solve all your problems with fists. But it was a 90s anime. It was a different time. Everyone solved their problems with fists. From schoolgirls to headmasters. Everyone was just catching hands. At least in anime. IRL, there weren't nearly as many fights. And if you got into them, boy, howdy you got in trouble. But it's been fun to revisit it just because of all the moments I was like, oh, and I forgot that moment existed. Like how many times they did the Dragon Ball Z trope of almost like making you believe a character had died out of nowhere for it to be comical instead. There's one part in season 2, where Kuwabara and the team are going after the Saint Beasts, and one of them fighting Kuwabara destroys all the land under where Kuwabara is standing, and he has to jump to take this thing down. He uses his weapon as a pole vault to launch himself, and then punches this thing right off the damn ledge into lava, and his large tiger creature dies. Real, like, well, not really bloody, it was just sort of like explosive, like the old Dragon Ball Z shows. And then they enter the next room, because of course everything's like tournament based, it seems like. And Tiger Dude comes running back to show the cruelty of the next villain, who just kills him by freezing him and then smashing him. But it was just neat to see, because back then they did, you saw a lot of death in anime back in the day, but it was like cartoony death. People getting turned into ash or blowing up and things like that. No real blood and gore. And it's a weird polar opposite to where I haven't seen it yet. It's on my watch list. But the new one by the creators of the Owl House, and again, just seeing the music videos, like one of the characters getting drugged around by her intestines, I'm like, I realize you're not aiming specifically for kids with this show, but that's like wildly violent for a cartoon. That's some Happy Tree Friends stuff, and I'm here for it, but just things change. I think it's fine as long as people don't like see too far into it. Anyway, I appreciate everyone who came through and all that. Sorry I wasn't very talkative while y'all was here. I really got to get better at this hosting thing. I just also, you know, when I'm feeling it, y'all know it, because I'll give you good performances. When I'm not, I'm just going to build and we're going to have a good chill time, I hope. There's lots to talk about. There's just, I mean, I don't just want to be negative news. I want to, if I talk about something, I want to be able to give you feasible ways to combat it. And at the moment, with the way the government's running, I can't even tell you to, you know, go make fun signs, because if they keep their current thought process, y'all just saying you're Antifa could get you a prison sentence. So it's like, I'm not saying don't fight it where you can. Be careful as you do it, but at the same time, you know, hard to find, here's how you can do this, because I'm not going to send you into a firing squad if I can help it, you know? I will say just, you know, be honest, don't let them have the upper hand with trying to, you know, don't sink to their levels, but at the same time, don't be quiet about easy to understand facts, like the fact that their president is currently unable to say words like acetaminophen unable to keep straight sentences in his head. Sorry, I'm repositioning myself and I've been doing a lot of walking. Oh. Well, not so much walking as squatting and scrubbing and like, okay, that's better. My lower back was having some difficulty, but I'm good now. But nah, we all good. And like I said, y'all, as a nation, we will survive, because the good thing about them is, as bad as it is to say, they're really shitty fascists. Like, they're really dumb. If they were half as smart as their favorite leader, we would be in some degree of trouble. But they keep tripping over their own feet. They're goose-stepping and kicking each other in the ass and tripping as they do it. So it's like, be thankful for small miracles, I suppose. Alright, let's go get a pick and widen out the top part some more. I don't know if that's sand or ice anymore. Well, we'll build a road there and find out what it is, I suppose.
all young.
I'm sorry, I just had to make sure the vote's today.
Do you really think that will let dangerous ex-cons move in next to my own mother?
And like I told y'all earlier, this show is a Republican's wet dream. So of course Lynette decides to get a gang of violent ex-Marines who told her that they beat the f*** someone who wanted to open up a rehab to come address the problem.
Last year we had a similar scare on our streets. Some old hippie wanted to open up a drug rehab center.
I remember. Didn't that old hippie get beat up by a hippie?
He made no mistake from mouthing off one of my neighbors as an extreme movement. His theory sounded way worse than it was.
And the next time Parker does try to use what's a reason and caution us against inviting this mob of ex-Marines to wreak havoc on the community to stop a positive initiative. And he suggests
Worse. And if this doesn't open, what happens to all those ex-cons?
What happens to them?
I mean, if they don't get to stay here, where will they go?
They'll just go back to where they came from or some house in another neighborhood.
But what if that neighborhood doesn't want them either? I mean, if they've done their time and they need a second chance, wouldn't it be better for them to be in a nice neighborhood?
In theory, yes, but that's not the way the world works. We have to think about our neighborhood, our children.
Ourselves?
So remember I told you, the show only allows us to hear the arguments opposing their conservative function, but it serves purposes of invalidating the argument with lies, propaganda, and fear-mongering about highly unlikely shit. So of course, just when Lynette starts to sit with what Parker told her and question her choices, one of these hardened criminals immediately breaks into Bree's house and tries to harm her, which is meant to further justify the opposition to the halfway house and the riots that Lynette causes.
Would you like a sandwich with that?
This halfway house?
No. That's next door.
So I guess we're gonna be neighbors.
Well, I'm sure you're in a hurry to get settled in over there, so.
I'm in no hurry.
You see what they're doing now? Leftist policies and programs designed to help people readjust to society and manage addiction, like halfway homes and rehab, are painted as justifiable dangers to the community that they have no choice to protect themselves from by using violence. This is what happens in real life. Lynette incited a riot that caused property damage, violent assault, and almost killed Susan. But at no point does anyone acknowledge that that in and of itself is a crime, or how the results of that riot prove exactly why mob justice isn't an appropriate way to handle things.
Well, y'all, we... Aw, alrighty. I'll take on the new friend. Like I said, y'all, I am a terrible friend, though, just letting you know ahead of time. And it's been about an hour. I'm about to get started back on some more of these little projects and probably get a bit more of the cleaning done. Plus, the boys are needing a walk, so right after I clear this next row out, I'm probably going to be about to sign off. But I appreciate everybody coming out who came out, and we will continue expanding and growing this place as we can. It's always fun building with y'all, and I will try to look up videos on how to make a copper golem. We're gonna get organized here soon, y'all. Copper bars are looking nice. The tools and all that are going pretty good so far. I'm digging that part of the expansion. So we're gonna probably come back and have some more fun with that. Probably tomorrow, maybe later on tonight. When I get back after a couple of projects, we're probably gonna do a bit more Soul Calibur. Hopefully finish Oswald's story, and as well whatever his name is, and maybe even get into Ivy's story. I've been looking forward to see if I'm still any good with her from back in the arcade days. Either way though, I appreciate y'all. It looks like we're done with that row for now. I thank y'all for coming out, and as always, we'll see y'all the next time. Be good, stay safe, and all that, y'all. We also got some new dance moves in. Digging the new copper mod, y'all. But y'all be good, and we'll catch you later. Bye for now, y'all.